Yusuf Tuggar, Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria. Welcome, Minister. How many days have you been in the job?
Sounds like forever, but
yeah,
only since August.
Yeah. They say being foreign minister, they're dog years. I think dog years is like 7, is it? So Minister Tuggar, Nigeria, one of the really big powers in the global south. You listened to the discussion, of course, so far. But is there a way that we can see a reconciliation between the North and the South? And what has to change from the North? Is there anything that has to change from the South? And what would be the fundamentals of that this cooperation, the pillars that this cooperation will be built on? UN Charter, is it international law? It's very interesting to hear also from the new Nigerian administration on this. Minister.
Well, what we have to do is to collectively practice what we preach. So the values that we uphold, democracy, rule of law, need to be practiced. And we need to see them being practiced in the very decision-making bodies or entities for the planet. So to begin with, the UN Security Council, it needs to democratize. Clearly, it is not fit for purpose. Nigeria, you mentioned, is a large country. It is the most populous country on the continent, on the African continent. It has a population of 220 million people. It's going to be 400 by the year 2050. It belongs in a UN Security Council, for instance. And there are several other key decision-making bodies.
With or without veto power?
Permanent seat.
But no more veto powers, huh?
We should do away with the veto powers. Clearly, it's clumsy. It's not working. And again, you know, when you look at the global security architecture, it is impacted upon by such undemocratic entities that influence decisions. Again, you have a situation where in the past, when we had a bipolar world, we had neutral ground for diplomats to engage, for diplomacy to be allowed to resolve issues, to preempt conflicts and diffuse them. We don't have that anymore. We no longer have Austria the way it used to be, or Switzerland where we are today, Scandinavia. When I was studying international relations many decades ago, we even had the term Finlandization, you know, and all of that. That no longer exists. So we're increasingly seeing a situation where diplomats and diplomacy are taking the back seat, and disagreements are being securitized, and security chiefs, defense policy makers are taking the front seat. And of course, for the guy with the hammer, everything is a nail. So we end up with increasing conflict. So we need to allow for, of course, you know, some of these things have to do with also the global financial situation, problems to do with the economy. So if a foreign affairs ministry is not deemed to be a revenue generator, then, you know, one that maybe produces weapons and sells and, you know, has more revenue generation takes the forefront. So we really need to allow for diplomats to play a more important role when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to engagement between countries, and that is missing.
Well, thank you. But I learned, though, in my political past that you should always end when people still want you to continue. I'm not sure all politicians stick to that, but Minister Tuggar, and then I'll do a very, very short closing.
Yeah, so real quickly, not a reply, just a reaction. I spoke about Finlandization within the context of a bipolar world and ways to avert conflicts, and in this case, nuclear annihilation. So perhaps that was the price that we had to pay. It was regrettable, but the point I was trying to make was the need for there to be neutral ground for diplomats, for countries to engage with each other to avert conflict. So, but I couldn't agree more with the minister with regards to freedom of self-determination, because what you described could apply exactly to Palestine. They have the right. They have the right to, self-determination, the same way that Finland.
Fully agree.
So we could, but I don't want us to keep on, nitpicking and picking and choosing which conflicts to highlight. What is important is also that we pay close attention to proxy wars and actions and the use of proxies to foment conflicts in third-party nations. So this is something that is happening that we see increasingly, and unless the diplomats engage with each other, you cannot diffuse such tensions. But we need to roll that back as quickly as possible.
No,